I'm quite proud of myself here. This is my vintage portable sewing table, and I've got sort of plexiglass here, but what you can see is my Consew industrial stroke commercial machine is here. And one thing if you know these machines, you'll realize that they usually run with a knee lever to either lift the foot up or to control the zigzag. And I have adjusted my treadle table to use the knee lever. However, in some instances, what I wanted was the ability to have different machines. So I could have my Davis vertical feed, which I need to have in this table here, but then that stops me from having access to the control on this machine. And this is the only machine I have which you can manually control the zigzag width. So I know there's a Janome, one of the Janome memory craft machines which uses the knee lever to do the zigzag, but I've not found any other affordable machine where this works. And I had this machine, I thought, well, what can I do to make it portable so it works always? So here's the little secret. I've put this in a wooden tray, and you can see that cable there. And what that cable does is it connects to the bottom of that black, see the black lever, if you know how these levers work. Just one second. Right, so I've wedged the machine up. And what you can see here is when you press this, see that? That's what controls the zigzag. Now what I've done is I've taken off the spring just to remove a bit of the extra tension against it, because it's still pretty stiff. And the one thing I would love is if there's a little smoother, but the design behind this is that your knee can control it and your legs are strong, so therefore they've got a really strong spring. However, with the changes I've made here, you can see how it's working. Do you see how that's going up and down the cable? What I've done is I've just tied the cable to the top end of that hinged mechanism there, and that connects down through this hole that I've got here down to this improvised foot controller. Now what I have to do is get a more stable pedal controller down here. But what it does, one second, I'm going to drop the machine down so I can show you. Okay, the machine's back down, and what you can see here now is this foot controller here, and we'll call it that, is there, and it's attached to the cable. And if I lean my foot, now, and you'd have to use your right foot in this case, you can see I can get the full zigzag width just by stepping on that. So it's no longer controlled with a knee lift, but it's controlled by a stepping action. Now as long as you've got any sort of trolley, work table, whatever with a hole, you could make this adjustment. It's very easy to do. You just need to attach some sort of strong enough cable and then have a way to rest your foot on it so you can actually just press your weight down. And it's fairly reasonable. I mean, you have to push hard to get the full zigzag, but it's not terrible. But at least, you know, if you're zoom, you can just control whatever zigzag. So now this machine is completely portable. I mean, it weighs a ton, but as long as, I mean, this table that it's in here, it could be anything. I think it weighs about 5 kilos, or same as a featherweight, 13 pounds or something, and then you've got the machine that sits in here. So as long as you've got anything with the ability to access underneath and drop that cable straight through, or even if you drilled something, you now have the ability to use a push motion rather than a left and a right motion. And just as a point of interest, this is what I've been working on. So you can see all of this gold metallic thread. I have been able to sew this with a standard 14 needle. I had to really, really, really lower the tension. the thread tension, so to stop the thread breakage. So it's probably wasting a lot more than I would like, but with lowering that, it just stops all the thread breakage, and so I'm able to sew on this machine with the gold. So we're getting good progress here. You can see I've done the red. I did the red here as well. The only thing I didn't do, which was perfect, but I will fix this, is I didn't use good enough stabilizer when I first started this, and it bunched up the fabric a bit. So it's got a bit more texture than used to, but I'll punch this down with extra embroidery, and then you won't notice that won't be so obvious. But that's okay, you live and learn. But this was only a cheap table runner, very cheap, $4 Canadian, so about £2.50, or maybe $3 American, something like that. Very, very cheap and hideous. But with gold fabric, red metallic threads, and all the work I'm going to do, it's smartened it up somewhat amazingly. So it looks like it's actually woven like that. It looks more like tapestry now rather than the cheap fabric. So it was a really fun little project for me to work on, and good opportunity to practice with this machine. Alrighty, I shall wish you all a happy day and speak soon. Bye for now.